we got so far today. 3/4 inch Baltic birch. Just made some spanners, I guess. We just went a little bit wider than the fridge so we could slide it in and out. We haven't decided on the back piece. I think we're just gonna make it full size and just nail it into there, and then we're gonna have these in the back along there, and then we're deciding how we're gonna do the drawer. I have one piece just above there, like that. We haven't decided how much room we need to slide in the fridge in and out. Besides that, first day using pocket hole jig. I think it's gone pretty well actually, considering everything we're doing. So it's our little baby fridge. That's it. All right, here's a walk around after we put the back piece on the fridge, and we're gonna decide on a 1/2 inch gap in between the fridge and the support bracket there on top of it. We didn't bolt it in yet. Here is, and then later that night, my wife did the black stain on the cabinet. We went with black stain instead of paint because we wanted to see the grain through the Baltic birch. I think it turned out really well, and I think we did at least 2 coats on it, maybe 3. We did sand in between the first coat and at least the second coat. I think we did 3 coats on this. Turned out amazing. I think we got it at home. We did get it at Home Depot, just bare. Here I am with the drawer I built the next day. Took a long time, especially when you just have a circular saw to build it. The thing about the drawers is the sliders have adjustment on it. You got to push it in there pretty tight and then work it in, and there's these little tabs that it flexes to it. So once you push it in and out a couple times, once you get it in, as you can see, I didn't get it in right there. It bends to the width of it, and then it starts getting smoother. I did oil them after I got it in, and after a couple times of running it back and forth, it did loosen up and start running well, and I think the next video shows it. It is a soft close. And here we are putting the face tape on there. I think I explained later that you just cut it to size, and then you get an iron and iron it, and the glue on it is activated, and it's pretty quick, but you got to be pretty careful because it does get a little brittle if you get it too aggressive with it. And we just use the file to cut off the edges. A pretty sharp file, I would suggest, or a newer file. Then we got the finished Baltic birch and made the tabletop. And here we are just doing measurements to make sure it's going to be flush. And I went with a straight edge, clamped it on so I knew where I was. And everything seems to be pretty good here. Just triple checking. This is the cabinet that we built. It took a lot of work, but basically probably maybe 3 days, truthfully. A whole day almost for the drawer and putting the sliders in, a day to build it. My wife Becky, she black stained everything. On this side is the power. Right here, this is going to turn it on and off. We also have show power and USBs to plug in any kind of top to it. It's definitely gained a little bit of weight. We have this plug going out the back, the 12 volts coming in there. And then today we put the countertop on with the swing out arm, and we're good to go. So we're super excited. And we painted all the hardwood black.
Yeah, Nelson put him in.
So built a drawer, soft close, and then here's the fridge. It is a Bodega. This is a 65-liter fridge. We went with it instead of all the other ones because it looked like it was more energy efficient as far as the numbers and quieter. Also, it's a little bit narrower and not as deep, but it's a little taller. So we needed a special cabinet to make it. So we made a custom cabinet here. This is 3/4 inch Baltic birch. And then on the frame, as you could see, you don't see the plywood, we put the tape on that you iron on. That's like the face tape stuff to make it look finished. As you can see, it looks pretty good for my first time ever even doing it. So you put it on with glue, or it has glue, and then you iron it, heats up the glue, and then you trim off the rest. Pretty difficult. Well, not real difficult, but definitely takes a little bit of time for your first time. Also, as you could see, we wanted about 3 feet of space. We couldn't really go farther this way, which we thought about. We have some room, it could hang over, it's not a big deal. The problem is this bed system comes up, and this is our eating table right here. So this turns into bench seating, and this platform here, and it has a pole that goes in there, and then you put the top on there. You can't get in here if this is extended. So we just kept it this, but we wanted to put a little bit of a lip. And the reason we wanted to put a little bit of a lip is because we got custom counters before in our house. If you don't have a lip, things, when you're trying to wipe it off, it goes down the side. So it's always nice to have a little bit of a lip to get the stuff off the top. So that is part of the reason. This is also 3/4 inch Baltic birch we put on top. We were thinking about butcher block, but we didn't want something super heavy, and it's usually like 1.5 inches. We couldn't find any inch. And it was like, this pre-finished Baltic birch looked really nice, and we're always going to use a cutting board on top. So it wasn't super necessary to have like a super like food friendly tabletop, because we're not going to be cooking or eating off of it, just like a workstation. So we thought the finished plywood would be fine. Just like everyone else, we put a shelf. Well, we have an extender, so we put this on, measured it, cut a straight line, and then so this piece will come up and meet it. So let me do that right now. Here it is. It's not that hard to get it perfect, but definitely you got to take your time to make sure everything lines up really well. Turned out really nice. The seam is pretty seamless. It's our Jocko fuel. On these, we had silver brackets already in our house, so we just got black paint and painted these hinges, because these were silver, and I think it's gonna hold up fine. Actually, it's been on there, and the wear is very minimal, so I think it's gonna work out perfect. And then to put it down, you just push these 2 little levers at the same time, just like that. So it's a super small footprint. If you're wondering about how wide it is, I think it's 18, so it's like 18 3/4, 18 to 18 3/4, something like that. I think it's 18 3/4. We want to make it fit really tight, or pretty tight, because most fridges you have to drill a hole and drill through and put your connectors onto the side inside of here. So it has to be pretty tight, or you have to have space a piece of wood and go through both of them. But this just went straight in there. We have 2 connection points on the back going into the frame, and then we have 2 spots drilled into the floor. Anyway, what else? We did take off the wrapping. I think the upholstery on these, the blobs. Here's the fridge. So get some drinks, swing it all the way open.